The Chef Naz Podcast begins now.
Welcome to the Chef Naz Podcast. I'm Joe, and I'm your host today. And once again, you find us in our cozy living room setting. We are doing Advent devotionals, and today we have with us Pastor Kevin. It's Tuesday, December the 2nd, and we're going through this devotional book, which he's brought in copies for us that you can see. It is the season of Advent. This is a multicultural daily reading from the South Central Ohio District of the Church of the Nazarene. It's great that we have this resource, and if you're looking at a printed copy or even a digital copy that's available, you'll start seeing at the bottom of each of these devotionals some names that you might recognize from around the district.
That's exactly right.
So welcome in, Pastor Kevin.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
We want to thank you really for, I'm doing the recording part of it, but for organizing kind of our whole Advent season.
Yeah.
For some, it may not be a secret. For others, it may that Pastor Rob, obviously he loves the birth of Jesus and celebrating that, but for Christmassy things, that's not his go-to. And so it's nice to have you kind of fill in that role.
Oh, I'm excited about it. It's going to be fun.
So, well, what'd you bring for us for today?
Well, today's reading, Tuesday the 2nd, based off of Hebrews in the 11th chapter, beginning in verse 33, and I'll just read this passage. By faith, these people overthrew kingdoms, ruled with justice, and received what God had promised them. They shut the mouths of lions, quenched the flames of fire, and escaped death by the edge of the sword. Their weakness was turned to strength. They became strong in battle and put whole armies to fight. And our reading for today is from Abril from Whitehall. And this was her reflection on this passage for this Advent season. Mm-hmm. As Christmas rolls around, many people worry about gifts and decorations. For me, however, those worries were about my final exams. During my undergraduate years, the start of the holiday season often meant one thing: finals week. While being worried about the holidays, I was busy studying. I worried about grades and whether all my hard work would pay off. Yet even in those stressful weeks, I chose to have faith that the fruit of my labor would prosper. Thankfully, each Christmas was met with good grades and lots of delicious foods as my reward. Her experience was different than mine.
You didn't get delicious food?
I got delicious food. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Every time I surrendered my worries, I found peace and strength that could only come from God. He continually reminded me that my weakness was an opportunity for His strength to shine. And every Christmas, I'm reminded of the goodness of the Lord and how His goodness has provided me strength. In Hebrews 11, we see that faith doesn't always remove the struggle, it transforms it. I like that. Advent reminds us of the same truth. Just as the people of faith trusted in promises they hadn't seen, we wait hopefully for the coming of Christ. The birth of Jesus is proof that God keeps His promises. May this season have us rest in the assurance that faith still turns fear into peace, strength, and victory.
Amen.
I like that. When I think about Advent, and Advent is it comes from the Latin word. It's about a coming, about an event. And so Advent focuses really on the first coming and then looking forward to the second coming of Jesus. And so we tend to focus more probably about the first arrival, all the prophetic words about the coming of Christ. But this season in some ways, it's like the season of Lent. When we think about its time of preparation and preparing our hearts for Easter, Advent has that same feel. It's that preparation. It's the slowing down amid the busyness of the season. Mm-hmm. And, we're running to and fro, and we're going to parties and having great food, and we can get caught up in the commercialized aspect of the season. And Advent gives us opportunity to slow our pace for a moment and pause and reflect. And one of the things that stood out to me in this Advent sharing this devotional today was the phrase. Now I can't find it as I'm looking through as I read it.
Well, I liked in that last paragraph, maybe this is where you were going.
Yeah.
We see that faith doesn't always remove the struggle, it transforms it.
That's what it was, yes. I think that's a great reminder. We tend to always want the removal of anything that is less than comfortable. And sometimes there are some great difficulties that we wish God would remove, and sometimes God does, but often it's those seasons where we are learning and where God transforms the situation, transforms us. And I think that's pretty powerful.
You know, that kind of echoes Paul's experience when he had the thorn in the flesh.
Yes.
And we never really know exactly what that was. There's a lot of conjecture about what it could have been,
Right.
you know, vision, epilepsy, all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that we don't know.
I agree.
In God's wisdom, he decided that was not a detail that we needed to have.
Right.
And I think it kind of allows us to be able to insert in the blank, you know.
It allows us to make it applicable to our life, wherever
Right.
we're struggle.
And if anyone, quote unquote, deserved getting their life fixed
Right.
so that they could do what God wanted them to do, you know, I think we would put Paul pretty close to that top of the list.
I would think so.
But you know, the answer he got from the Lord after seeking and 3 different times, and you know, when he says I prayed 3 times, I seriously doubt that meant that there was just, you know, morning, noon, and night.
Right.
Didn't happen. Okay, I'm just going to
I'm
live
good.
it. I kind of get the impression it was more of like 3 seasons
Right.
of prayer.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
This was a time, like there was a time in my life, like I was really struggling with it and took it to him, and the answer was no, and I was okay with it for a while, and then it came again. I think it was probably more like that, and then to receive the answer, my grace is sufficient, and that's the transforming part.
It is, and I think for me, especially this time of year, maybe the oversimplification of what God does, I think, is a shortcoming, is a hindrance to folks. When we reduce, Jesus is the answer. Well, that's true. Or, you know, Jesus provides. That's true. But when we reduce, become reductionary, and we oversimplify, it misses the mark. But I think what she's identified here is that God transforms the situation, transforms us, and that God is working, and that God does provide in those difficult things, because those are the times that we need something to sustain us. And just as you mentioned, the Apostle Paul, it wasn't like, hey, everything is great now. You know, I wake up every day
Right.
to my favorite things, and that's not reality. And I think we do a disservice to the community of faith, and we do a disservice to a world that is looking in. Why do you have hope? When we don't acknowledge, I prayed the Lord would remove that thorn, and he didn't. But he sustained me. He transformed me in that. I prayed for this situation, and it didn't go the way that I hoped that it would. But God's abiding presence, that hope has come. Those are the things. And we need to lean into that instead of trying to shy away from the difficulties. And because authenticity always speaks, I think, with greater power into people's lives.
I think sometimes what happens is, especially if people have been in the church for a long time, they want to somehow prove to others that the Christian life works.
Right.
And so, like, in a situation where maybe you're asking for circumstances to change or healing, and then that doesn't happen, it's almost like we feel like we have to apologize on God's behalf that
Right.
you didn't get what you
Right.
were asking for.
Right.
And we have to look at the reality that he's got a bigger. He is much more concerned about who you're becoming than what. It's not that he doesn't care about your circumstances. He certainly does, but he cares even more about who you're becoming and what he needs to do in your life to
Right.
make that happen.
Exactly.
And I guess when I run into those situations, kind of like you, I don't want to try to like gloss over it. I want to acknowledge that what you're going through is awful.
Right.
And we can continue to ask the Lord to make changes in those circumstances, but we also need to ask Him to help us accept whatever His will is,
Yes.
and find out what am I supposed to be doing during this.
Right.
And I guess one of the things that I try to remember is that we can't reduce our Christian faith to a transaction.
Correct.
Like if I do this, then I get that.
Right, it's
and
a
I do
formula.
that. Yeah. And it's like, no, I didn't enter into a system. I entered into a relationship.
Right.
And we wouldn't expect that from any other relationship. We shouldn't.
No.
We don't be like,
Because that's
okay,
not an authentic relationship.
right. If I do this, they'll do this,
Right.
and we just keep acting in
Right.
this transactional format.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I did one thing I did want to say, the favorite Christmas foods during the holiday season.
Yes.
What do you have a top or a top
Well,
couple?
I'll give you one that probably most people don't have.
Okay.
So it'll be kind of unique. We have some food traditions in our family, and I suppose everybody does to
Sure.
a certain extent. There's certain things that have to happen
or
and
or it's not
pertaining
been
to food.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've had ever since I've grown up, when I was a little kid, and then as I got married, Susan took over making sure that went on to the next generation and our kids do it. It's a thing called Mexican beef spread. I have no idea why it's called that, but this was a recipe, I guess, from my grandma on my dad's side way back in the day when in the Columbus Dispatch, Lazarus, well, that's how far back it was, would publish recipes around Christmas time. And they published this recipe for Mexican beef spread. And it's like melted Velveeta, a bunch of chipped beef,
I'm in.
pimentos, mayonnaise, tomato, and that's just all melted in the oven. And you serve it on crackers.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
My mouth's watering.
Yeah. So that's something that while we're opening stockings in the morning, that's sitting on the table to just go over there and graze for a little bit.
What time should I be there?
Yeah. About 9 o'clock.
About
I
9 o'clock.
suppose.
All right.
All right. So for you, what fits
for
that
me,
category?
there's two things. One of these started at an early age because of my dad's love for it is eggnog.
Okay.
Oh, I've already had some eggnog. And Sue Ann.
The okay kind.
The
right?
okay, yeah, the okay kind.
I'm already 3 glasses
I'm already
in.
3 glasses in. It's great. Sue Ann doesn't like it. I love it. And my dad, as a kid, my brothers and I, my mom didn't like it either. We enjoyed it, and there were seasons when my dad would make it homemade, and always loved that. But for me, this season is always a reminder of that. It reminds me of my dad. Of times past, but sharing things together today, and so I love that. And then the other thing would be this time of year, pecan pie. My wife's pecan pie is like, it's not Thanksgiving or Christmas if we don't have it.
So you're saying staff lunch, That's
a
coming?
possibility that we could be having some
Hey.
pecan pie. So
All right. Well, you guys will just have to show up, see if you get lucky, because we're sure not going to tell you what day that's
no,
happening.
and we're not saving you a slice either.
But for everything else that's going on in the church, you can go to shepnaz.org. Also, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We encourage you, if with any of these devotionals, if the Lord has kind of touched your heart, to reach out to us and let us know,
Yeah.
or comment on social media. And for Pastor Kevin, I am Joe. Have a great day. This podcast is a production of the Shepherd Church of the Nazarene, Gahanna, Ohio. Email to podcast@shepnaz.org and let us know what you think.